Hey,
Perfect.
so we just got done with Mythic testing. That was pretty fun. Which specs did you play for your Mythic testing, by the way?
Fire and Frost.
Okay, cool. I did as well. I haven't been able to find anyone who's been playing Arcane in the testing.
Oh, I mean, I did like I did a pull of it, but it's not fun. So I just swapped back.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe. It seemed like they were trying to entice us with those buffs, but yeah, I think what we'll do today is probably just focus on Fire and Frost. I have a kind of like a list of thoughts and questions. I want to just kind of ask you some of these first. Um, okay. So, Fire Mage, obviously, they have kind of addressed some of the things that have been pruned. I mean, compared to like where we were before, obviously the spec is like very watered down. There's like a lot less skill expression. That's something I've heard you talk about, Fired Up talk about. I've been talking about as well. But I want to start just by talking about what is good. So like kind of the positives here. So why don't you go ahead and tell me like what you're loving about Fire right now?
I mean, I still like combust a lot. Like when you're in combust, it feels good. You got like a lot of fire blasts, and just I mean, that's just what fire's always been. Always in combust, you're having fun. Like high APM intense moments.
Yeah, and I loved it. Combustion is like set to the 1 minute cooldown now. It's not like you
hmm
like if there's a situation where you like can't hit something for a bit, it doesn't feel like super duper bad where you're just like losing out on all this cooldown on your combustion. So loving the 1 minute cooldown. What about shifting power? How you feel about that removal?
I kind of miss it, but I guess it made it like really awkward for the other two specs. Is was the reasoning? I forget what they said, but I like that on fire.
Yeah,
I'm sad it's gone.
it's funny. Like whenever I read the note that they were removing shifting power, I was like, yes. I hate that ability. And now that I'm playing without it, I'm like, I kind of miss it. Like I kind of wish I had shifting power
Yeah,
again.
give you something to do. Like CD's end, you shifting, and it feels good.
Yeah. I think especially like as Arcane, if I were to be playing that, I would feel it like even more. But like, okay, so in the testing, right, we were just doing Nexus King, and oh my god, it's like your combustion cooldown is just like
Yep, off by
slightly
10
too long.
seconds. Yep.
Yes, dude, I'm like, where's my shifting power? Man, it's like moments
On
like that.
the tic tac toe one, it was off by like 10 seconds, so
Yeah,
you couldn't combust on pull.
yeah. I even
It
tried
was
like
so cringe.
I tried like doing some really weird stuff where I was like my second combust I waited like 45 seconds, which felt like super wrong, but I still wanted to just try it
Yeah.
anyways. And yeah, I feel like in moments like that you really notice the lack of shifting power. So yeah, I kind of miss it too. No lie. We got like giga pruned, right? Like we every class did. It's not just us, but
Mhm.
we get like lost our mirror image defensive. We lost our G Invis defensive. How are you managing with your health? Do you feel like you're a little squishy, or are you feeling pretty good about your defensiveness?
I definitely feel squishier. Like I feel like you have to use altar as a defensive now, when before you didn't really need to. So like you have to like plan out everything now. Like every barrier you have to plan out, every altar you're gonna have to plan out. You're just way squishier before, where you have to use those as like defensives instead of just like good things to have before damage is coming, or
Yeah,
like free blinks.
yeah. I have like this habit of like just pressing barrier if I like cut a cast off, like to
Yeah,
just try to
exactly.
fill time, and it's like it's so fast that it feels like that's a waste, and then also I don't have it for when I need it, so I'm like, oh
Yeah.
crap, I gotta like relearn that. Have you tried temporal realignment, the alter choice node?
It uses your altar CD, so I hate it.
Yes.
You might as well just hit altar.
Yeah, I feel like that's like for lack of a better term, I feel like that's like the civilian option. It
Oh
is
yeah, 100%.
it's like really strong on like rot damage, which I like because if there's like a situation where your health is dropping over like 25 seconds, right? It's like alter won't really do much for that, but at least you get some value with it. I've been trying it out just to see how I like it, but it does feel weird not having alter. I don't know how I feel about the skill expression part being gone because I feel like that was like one of the big things for Mage, right? Like having really good alters, and you can still do that, but I don't know. Maybe it's like a good thing that the gap is being closed with this like kind of watered down version of it.
Yeah, I imagine like 90% of mages don't use altar right, so having an option like this is probably fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't do much.
I will admit though, I have a couple times tried to use alter for like the shimmer reset with time walk, and I'm
hmm
like, wait, where is that? Yeah. And so they changed the fireball cast time, right? Like they made it way faster.
hmm
I was feeling like before that change that fireball was just like there's just like way too much fireball spam. It's weird how I'm still probably casting the same amount of fireballs. In fact, I'm probably casting more fireballs now because it's faster, right? But for some reason, just like having the cast time be so much faster, like in my brain has made me feel better about it. How have you felt about that?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna feel better because you also get like you cast more fireballs, but you have more hot streak generation. So it doesn't feel like you're only casting fireball because it's like the fireball's spam is interrupted by a hot streak every like couple seconds. So that's why it feels way better, is what I think at least.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting with the Scorch change too. Like now Scorch and Fireball are like pretty much the same cast speed. Scorch is just like ever so slightly faster, at least for some Fury. Were you actually playing Scorch in your testing?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I was like having a little fun with this idea of like, okay, I'm just not gonna play Scorch. They added it back in, and I'm very happy that it's back. But dude, that talent, it just feels like so expensive to pick. Like, because Scorch is, I like how they did it. I like that Scorch is
Really?
worse than Fireball in terms of like what you do and execute. Like, I could get more damage if I was skillful and stood still, but
Mhm.
I also like need it on certain fights, right? Like for instance on Nexus King, like you have to have that for like the part where you have to run around circles, right? Like or else.
Or okay, you could technically stand still that whole time, but you have to use alter and all your blinks.
Yeah. So what I
But
would do is like if I was doing Pyroclasm, I would like find the angle to like blink.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, but I did try. Like at first, I was running around, and then you can solve it by like just standing still and pyroing or fireballing with. I think you needed one time spiral, but you could stand still the whole time. But it was like really difficult.
Oh, I should ask, were you playing Sun Fury or Frostfire when you played Fire?
I was Sun Fury.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was as well. I noticed that Scald wasn't working with Frostfire Bolt, and I was like, yeah, that's gonna be a no from me, big dog.
Yeah, Firestarter also doesn't work with Pyroblast.
Yeah, that was annoying.
That
I
was
actually
really annoying.
I swapped to that because I was like, oh, here's the solution to the well, actually two of the different bosses. I was like, so I could delay my combustion, right? So I was trying that,
Mhm.
and it just doesn't work with Pyro, and that feels
Oh, did
really
you
really
play with
bad.
Meteor?
I played with Meteor, yes, but I was
I feel like it did
testing.
no damage.
Dude, Meteor is like a wet noodle. It's crazy. They buffed it so
Yeah,
much, but like it still feels so weak, and it just feels so not worth it, right? Because you're like you're taking Field of Fire, you're taking Meteor, you're
you're
taking
taking
Deep
4
Impact.
talent points for it to do 1% of your damage.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
probably a damage loss to take all those talents. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, what's weird is I was like testing it before, and I don't know, maybe it's because I was like an X key on the dummies, but like my results were like pretty close, but it was telling me like to probably just stick with Meteor. But I will say like on the topic of Meteor, I love Sun Fury Execution, like that concept where you just get the guaranteed Pyroclasm for your bust.
hmm
That feels really good. I think they nailed it with that. It's just, yeah, Meteor feels like crazy expensive to pick up, and it just doesn't do anything. At least it's Sun Fury. Like you're only getting damage from that as Frostfire, and it's because of Common Storm.
Well, okay. I don't really like Sun Fury Execution because if you get more than one Pyroclasm your combust, you're capping Fire Blast. And like
Yeah,
that sometimes even happens natty without that. So like if you get I didn't play with Sun Fury Execution, but even sometimes without it, it felt like if you got 2 Pyroclasms, you went in with one or something like that, you were just overcapping like crazy.
yeah. So what do you do whenever you don't get a Pyroclasm on the pull? Do you just cry?
I mean, most of the time you can just Fire Blast the whole way. You have to like scorch once or twice at the end. Like you get so much Fire Blast recharge right now.
Yeah, yeah. I feel that in Lust for sure. Like later bust, I guess it's pretty easy to carry a Pyroclasm in. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool though. Like having one going in and then meteoring, and you have a second. You're like set. You're like golden. You never have to cast anything other than Pyroblaster in your combustion, which feels pretty good. But yeah, I agree with you that the cost of this talent is just so high. Like so many talents required.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So like if I didn't have meteor, I would for sure run Scorch, right? Because the
Yeah.
only reason I was running no Scorch was because I was choosing the meteor side, and there's just like not enough talents to really get that. And like if you're going for Heat Shimmer, it's kind of the same issue as like meteor, right? It's pretty expensive because if you just get Scorch, you really like don't get much out of that, right? Like you need the Heat Shimmer as well. But I don't know. I feel like the proc rate on that though. Were you feeling like the Heat Shimmer procs just like not really being there?
I mean, I felt okay. It just felt so awkward to use because you needed to like only use it after a pyro, after like a
Yeah.
hot streak. Because if you tried to like fireball and then scorch or pyro and then scorch, like you would munch a crit if you're like trying to cast anything, you know?
Yeah, that
It
was
felt
really
really
awkward.
awkward to use.
Yeah, I was like trying to like force it like after like an instant cast, but
Mhm.
the obviously they're gonna fix this, but like the UI element in game, like it doesn't tell you how long you have it, right? It just glows your
Mhm.
scorch, so it's like, oh, here it is. I'm gonna hold it for one extra global, and then it's gone, and then you're like, wow, okay, I guess never mind then. Yeah, that it being instant cast is just weird too. Like no travel time, instant cast. It's always been a little weird, but I don't know. I feel like that talent barely makes it worth it to like actually do it if you're like, on the target dummy completely still. Like if you get the heat shimmer proc, you'd obviously use that, right? But like
Yeah, if
aside
you play
from
in
that,
melee, it's fine. But
yeah, I guess if you're like super close to the target. Speaking of which, dude, I'm so annoyed with that the big boss we did. I forget his name. Voracis or whatever his name is, dude.
yeah,
Why do they always have these gigantic bosses where the
it's great.
travel time is like so big, man?
I'm like 2 globals behind in my hyperthermia window always. It's good.
Yeah. Okay. Were you playing like me? Where like I'll be honest, on the pole with less than everything, I was playing like on the lip, like literally like one pole I fell into the boss because I was too close. But I was trying to play like exactly as close to the boss as I could
No,
be
I was
for
playing
that.
range. I just dealt with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it just feels really bad whenever you're accidentally hardcasting those pyros. I guess if you like move the whole time while you're in bust, it's probably fine. But yeah, that's so annoying, man. At least I can't think if there's another boss that was bad like that. I think it's just that one guy. Yeah, I'm looking through the other ones. Yeah, I just wish it was like normalized, right? Like travel time on these bosses like Dimensius and these
Hmm.
big models. It just feels a little frustrating that they just have like wildly different travel times on your spells. Sometimes even bosses that are like small have that too if like their character model is weird. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah,
Anyways,
or even bosses where you just have to stand like 40 yards is going to be annoying.
yeah, like on one of those pulls on that boss again, like we were doing this range thing where we were all standing like out of range of the slams and like playing back
Mhm.
there. I felt like I couldn't even look at my UI. I had to just like know which button to press based on what I just pressed earlier. It's like I was playing blindfolded,
Yeah,
right? Like, okay, this one's gonna give me a hot streak. Okay, I'm on the heating up, so I need to fire blast here, even though I don't see it yet, right? It's
yeah,
gonna
that's
be
exactly
there.
how I was playing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, overflowing energy too. That change with the fireball
No, it's
change,
so nice. Yeah.
very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, love that one. I think once they fix like the weirdness with Firestarter and Scald, so that like the crits that you're supposed to be guaranteed are actually coming in, I think this is gonna feel like pretty good. Uh, there are a lot of dead talents though, I feel like. And I don't know if you test any of
Yeah.
these, but like Burnout, I have not seen that do anything. Cinderstorm. I tested
Burnout's good.
Pyromaniac. Oh, go ahead.
Burnout's good on like if ads are dying really quickly. So like I don't it's weird because you want a single target to get a higher ignite, but Flame Strike just does way more damage than Pyroblast Ignite. So I don't know. I feel like if you're when I was flame striking at least, it did nothing, but I was pyroing, it did a lot.
Ah,
Like the Tic Tac Toe
interesting.
boss. If I pyroed the guy, Burnout did like 15% of that damage. But if I was flame striking, it did like 5%.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I tested it before they buffed it. I hadn't really thought about the difference there. I guess that makes a lot of sense. Wait, are you running like what's your mastery on your character?
It's probably really low.
Do you have
It's
like any mastery?
346,
Okay, yeah,
7%.
yeah. So you're like me. You have like no mastery. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was running like all haste and then kind of like crit as my second one. I don't know if that's right, but that felt right to me.
I was just mainly haste, and then the other three are like equal kind of.
Yeah,
I
okay.
didn't really think about stats too much.
On the topic of Flame Strike, I like in Raid, right? Like whenever there's these AoE ads that are coming out and like I know where they're all kind of grouping up, like getting that Flame Strike out like ahead of time and then they all run in and boom, it does damage. Like I felt like that was really sick. My Flame Strike felt like it was doing a lot. It was getting like a
No,
lot of
flame strike
value.
feels like it does way too much.
Yeah, it feels like
I
a
feel like they're
really
gonna end up
strong,
nerfing it. Yeah,
really, really strong. But then what's weird is I go into Mythic Plus and I
and does
just
nothing.
don't feel like it does anything. And I don't know if that's like
Hmm.
a frost or like not just frost, but like overpowered AoE specs, right? Just like in general, there's like classes that do way too much AoE. I wonder if it's like that perception that's causing the feeling, like the lack of tuning on AoE, or if it just like has something else going on. But yeah, I feel like my Flame Strike doesn't do anything in Mythic Plus, which is
I mean, it
weird.
feels it's going to do a lot in your combust, but there's 50 seconds where you're not in your combust where you're going to do nothing. So raid it feels really good because the ads come out and it instantly like you can just start flame striking. And also you take like one talent point to make flame strike good. You just
Yeah.
take Fuel the Fire and then your Flame Strike build.
Yeah,
So
I'm a
there's
big
like
fan of that.
no, yeah.
Yeah, there's in the choice node, right, where it's like, oh, you can do it at the location versus the target. It's like so many times, like 90% of the time whenever there's AoE happening, I'm like pre-casting the Flame Strike. So like you would not even have the ability to do that with the other talent. So
Yeah, you can never take at your target. That's like a civilian thing, because
yeah.
there's gonna be like 10% of scenarios where you at target's just gonna lose damage. And it's annoying because I wish at target was good.
I wish whenever you took the at target version, or like whenever you took it in general, it just gave you two different versions, right? Like you could just have, or if they had it like in the cursor macros where you could just assign it to at target. You used to be able to do that a long time ago. Used to be able to do in your macro like at sign target, and it would just put it on your target, which is great if you just wanted to, eat hot Cheetos while you're playing or something. I don't know. If you didn't want to use your other hand. But yeah, I don't know. I guess their like solution with the choice node is fine, but I agree. I feel like that's just like a trap right there. Especially with the Pyroclasm, how powerful Pyroclasm is. Yeah, so I had a couple other notes on Flame Strike. Yeah, so Mythic Plus feels iffy, feels very strong in Raid, almost like too powerful in Raid. On the flip side of things, we have it versus Ignite, right? Because Flame Strike is always kind of like at odds with Pyroblast. So I felt like my mastery wasn't doing anything. I wasn't taking Burnout though. So that might have been why I felt that way. Have you noticed Ignite doing anything in any of the testing?
Yeah, I mean it does like, I don't know, like 70% or 60% of Flame Strike. That's what it feels like. It definitely does like enough to where if you need single target, you will single target. But like if you need any more AoE, Flame Strike is just so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's like very it seems like they want us to have that like very hard line in the sand, like here's where you Flame Strike, here's where you don't, kind of thing. Although I guess if Burnout's good, like that could be interesting. Cinderstorm though, I tested this one. I could not get this spell to do anything for me.
Oh, I read those, like the right side of the tree, and it's horrible. Like Fire Maniac's basically increasing Pyroblast by 3%, and then Cinderstorm just does no damage. So
yeah,
I kind of just ignored it.
I tested Pyromaniac to actually get like numbers on it, and it did like the Pyroblast themselves, because they're listed as like a separate spell ID. They only did like 0.8% of my damage, but that's not accounting for like the increased hot streaks, I guess, which that like would interact with what Fired Up and with Glorious Incandescence with the Spellfire Spheres. Yeah, like it has like interactions, so like I'm sure it's like more, but yeah, it felt like super duper weak. And then other weak talents, obviously aside from like bugged ones, right? Like Spontaneous Combustion, that's just +1.
That's horrible.
+2 fire blast per minute. It's so bad, dude. It's crazy how bad this talent is. I was surprised they didn't even look at this one. I guess like maybe people are taking it because they feel like, oh, that's sick, because then I have my Fire Blast for Combustion, but it's actually so bad. Yeah, because like people, I feel like people will like use their Fire Blast like not planned for Combust, and then they'll see this as like, oh, well, this is just +2 Fire Blast during Combustion, but actually it's not. It's the same amount of Fire Blast and Combustion. You just get +2 elsewhere.
Whenever you hit Combust, I feel like you just always get a charge of Fire Blast from whatever is hit in the boss, or like whatever passive effects.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed, like, I always go in with 2, I hit Combust, and it instantly goes to 3, like 90% of the time.
Yeah, I think it's probably like what set bonus and all the like other interactions with I guess from the ashes stuff that's like pinging
something like that.
Yeah, it feels I almost feel like I gotta stay at 1 Fire Blast during bust like the whole time. Like if I'm gonna go for a Pyroclasm, like I try to always have 1 Fire Blast, because if I don't, if I'm ever at 2, instantly capped, and then I'm like, oh, yep, that's a screw up. Yeah, a critical.
Yeah, that's also that's a fun little mini game. Like trying not to overcap Fire Blast and trying to get Pyroclasm off, because you don't really Pyroclasm until you're at 2 stacks, or like you're at 0 Fire Blast. So like that's another fun little mini game. It's just annoying when you get too many Pyroclasms.
Yeah, I like that too. I think the worst thing about too many Pyroclasms is like more so like a Sun Fury specific issue. It's like you have your hyperthermia afterwards, and then if you watch a Pyroclasm like expiring before you could hardcast it, that feels so bad, right? Like coming out of hyperthermia and being like, oh, I gotta get these these hardcast out, and then then they're just gone. Like that, the mini game of Combustion feels really good. I'm surprised at how good Fire is feeling already. Like I feel like Blizzard came out with like the initial beta and it was like, oh wow, we are cooked. Like this is doomsday, right? And then you know, reading through the talents and the design decisions, I think they did a pretty good job. We wanted combustion to feel strong. We have a lot of burst now. Or like less mobile. I don't know how you felt about this, but like it felt like they went a little too in the mobility direction, a little too BM Hunter last expansion, right? So like they kind of fixed that. They fixed like the constant uptime stuff, like a lot of really good stuff, right? Like they did really, really good changes. It's just like they went a little too hard on the pruning. Or I guess I should get your opinion on this. How do you feel about Scorch being back?
I think it's good. I think people made it a bigger deal than it actually was because it's like it's barely used. Like even now, like since Fireball is just better to cast and execute unless you're moving, like you're not really casting Scorch ever unless you need the move or you have Heat Shimmer. But like I think people overvalued it going away, but it's like I still like it. It's another thing to do. Like if you're moving, you don't have to just only focus on shimmers to like get somewhere. You can just Scorch.
Yeah, I like that it presents an option where it's not like a, you know, this is always better kind of thing. Like there's like nuance to it. It's like, yeah, if you need to Scorch, you can choose that option. You do get taxed a little bit on your damage, but like at least you can do something while you're on the move, right? Like especially if you're in combustion, it allows you to like bridge the gap. But somewhere, you know, like you could have just played better. You could have just had better movement, and then you could have gotten more damage with Fireball. And I guess that's like, to me, I find that interesting. I like that aspect of it. But I also think that if I was telling like someone who's new to Mage what to do in Combustion, I would probably be like, just cast Scorch. Yeah, just cast Scorch during Combustion. And that, to me, because Scorch like feels like you require Heat Shimmer as well, like for it to kind of be online, because the talent itself doesn't really provide much value aside from like utility and movement. I feel like Heat Shimmer like needs to be pretty strong, or else we're just gonna like probably skip out on it on a lot of fights, at least if we're going Meteor, that is. I don't know what Sims
I feel like
are going to say.
They want you to take Meteor because they're trying to buff it a lot.
Yeah. I think they need to probably give it more juice, or like change the talents. But it does feel pretty good though. Like especially when you're like, okay, I need a Pyroclasm here. Like there's ads about to spawn. I want to have like a gigantic Flame Strike Rise. I enter my Combustion like right here. Feels so good with the 30-second Meteor. Just like, you know, you always have it up for Combustion. Always a Pyroclasm guaranteed. That's great. But yeah, it does feel like you're maybe losing out. I'm really interested to see what the Sims are going to say. Dorvan was talking about in the Alter Time Discord just the other day, or today actually, working on Fire soon. So hopefully we'll actually have numbers.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion that there's like some other dead talents too, like Critical Mass. That one, I don't know if you've been taking it. I have been skipping this talent, and it sucks.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about that because I saw you didn't have it, and it makes sense because it does nothing. Like, your Fireball crits are coming from overflowing energy.
Pretty much.
It's really only affecting your Pyroblasts.
Yeah, and like, I feel bad not taking it because I feel like this talent has been kind of in this spot for a while where it's like really great quality of life. Like playing with Critical Mass, you feel it. It feels great. However, it just feels like it's just too big a cost and you have like too many other talents you need to get. So it's like, oh, here's your quality of life talent, but I don't know if you can take it. Kind of thing.
I actually just have the opposite problem. If you don't go Meteor, there's nothing to take but Critical Mass.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the big
I guess that's why I ended up taking it, yeah. Because it was between Critical Mass or Spontaneous Combustion and Flag.
No. Like, Spontaneous Combustion. Ain't no way, dude. Ain't no way. Yeah, so overall impressions. I guess just like, you know, if you were grading Fire currently as it is right now, what would you give it a passing grade, or what sort of impression are you having right now?
Oh, I'd give it a passing grade for sure, like a B+ right now. It was like an F, which is really weird because it didn't feel like they did much, but that small thing they did do made it so much better.
Yeah,
I definitely like the direction they're going with it right now, but it still feels like it's missing a tiny thing.
I agree.
I don't know what it is.
I agree 100%. It's missing like something small, and I also don't know what it could be.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's so strange because, you know, we've had this design where it's like our resource with finger quotes is Hot Streak, but like we don't actually have a resource, right? Like mana's not real. So I don't know. I just would like something else, something that doesn't really interact with Combustion, because I feel like Combustion gameplay is fantastic, right? Like Combustion gameplay, 10 out of 10. I give Combustion gameplay like a S right now because the Pyroclasm gameplay, like you said, with the Fire Blast, like that's really fun. and I feel like the movement is like high stakes, and it's very interesting. It definitely tickles the area of my brain that fire is always tickled, so it's good. But outside of combustion, I don't know. Like it feels kind of weird, and it is better now that we have like 1 minute combustion always, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I agree. I feel like there's just like a little thing missing there. I would love like some resource I spin outside of combustion, or some other button that I used that I wouldn't want to put in combustion. Just like something else to kind of bridge the gap. Yeah, I think I would also grade it like B currently. And before, like it definitely, I mean, initially it was an F for me, but after I played it a bit, it kind of grew on me into rating counters, like not hitting the target dummy. Because I feel like in the target dummy, solid F. Rating counter, there's some movement stuff. Maybe it's a little interesting. But
I think it's also like it was a little worse because you were playing Frostfire before.
yeah.
Or at least I was too. And Frostfire, I don't like Frostfire. I think Frostfire Empowerment just always feels bad to hit, which is weird because it's supposed to feel good to hit.
Yeah, it's just because like I feel like fire has like a cadence to it, right? Like you're always like trying to play the rhythm game, and it's like whenever you get Frostfire Empowerment, it like throws you off, right? It's like when you take a step on the stair and it just like it like doesn't feel right. You know, it's like a hiccup
just
in the
feels
rotation.
Worse than Phoenix Flames.
yeah, it's very strange, and like especially when it doesn't crit, and
it doesn't even crit automatically, so it just feels even worse.
Yeah,
and then it can just randomly happen when you don't expect it to happen.
Oh yeah, dude,
and it just ruins everything.
I hate whenever I'm about to set up for like a combustion, right? And I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna start my Frostfire bolt, and I'm gonna press combustion, and it's like you get the instant cast proc like literally as you cue the spell, and it's like, oh, what the hell? Like,
yeah,
now I've just thrown out the spell for nothing. Yeah, I agree. Like, I will say though, Meteor feels like pretty good as Frostfire. Like, I enjoy that side of it, but yeah, the gameplay itself just feels kind of whack, and I don't know. It's just weird. Like, we've had so many different iterations of Frostfire over, I guess, since the new talent system came out, and some of them have been, hit or miss, but this one, yeah, it's still a miss from me as well.
Yeah, same.
Cool. All right, so Frost. Okay, so they changed like a lot of stuff for Frost. I actually didn't write down any notes for Frost, but so playing Frost, seeing other people test Frost. I mainly stuck with Fire because I'd played a lot of Frost before, but I've done a lot of Mythic Pluses Frost. Dude, the shatter damage feels like completely out of control right now, which is awesome. Yeah. Like, it's good because you didn't even care about it before, right? It was like, who cares about shatter? But it's also weird because they haven't really clamped down on like all the ways you get shatter, like especially as Frostfire, which I don't know if you've been playing Spellslinger.
I've been playing Frostfire.
You've been only playing, or did you say you haven't been
playing Frostfire?
Only playing Frostfire. Okay, yeah. Actually, I tested out Spellslinger a little bit just to see how it felt. It felt a lot better than it did before. Frozen Orb. Oh man, that ability hits like a truck. Like, I love how hard it hits. It's just sometimes it feels bad whenever you requires a target, right? And you just like whiff it, and then it just like goes out and it stops in the middle of nowhere, and it starts just like hovering around because it's trying to like find the target.
Yeah.
I feel like you just want to like shoot that point blank probably, but it does a ton of damage. I think it's weird though as Frostfire that if you press Glacial Spike with the I'm assuming they're gonna fix this, but the talent for it, right, where like AoEs, it like does an AoE freeze. Yeah,
that's
the
weird.
flash freeze burn.
It interacts differently with Frostfire Empowerment. Like, it used to increase the Glacial Spike damage too. I think it still does, but it just interacts really weird with these two things.
Yeah, it hits like a truck. It's pretty fun though, like especially when you have like the ads you need to kill on Nexus King and like all the ads are spawning. Having a Glacial Spike ready whenever they all come out, having a Comet Storm at the ready, you just like whiff a Glacial Spike into the pack of ads, instantly hit the Comet Storm, and like the whole thing explodes. That feels sick. That feels really, really good. I think once we figure out like how this thing actually works and which talents are good for what situation, like with Sims, I feel like it's going to be just an absolute powerhouse. How do you feel about the design of like the new shatter?
Oh, I definitely really like it. I mean, Frost came in like, I hated Frost the whole time I played Mage, basically. It just felt really bad. And this version of Frost I actually like I was always a big fan of the Bursting Moons. Like, I played Unholy and MDI, and Bursting Moons is really fun to play around. And they just brought it to Frost, so there's like, I'm gonna like it, I'm definitely a fan of it.
Yeah, I am too. Whenever they like we're talking about it being like a bursting wounds kind of thing with the debuff, I know a lot of people like initially responded like, "What? Didn't you guys say that like this didn't work before? Why are you doing this again?" But like to me, I heard that and I was like, "Dude, that's actually sick because think about like the potential in raid. Like you need, mobility is coming up, right? You're going to have to run around circles for a little bit. Just like going a little harder on your freezing stacks ahead of time, getting those all set up, and then you can like have a nice little window of just throwing out flurries and ice lances and basically having full mobility, having the choice of when that happens as opposed to just reacting to a proc. That feels really good to me. I like that a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, same. I think it feels really good.
yeah, I think they kind of cooked, but I still think that there's like some really weird stuff in here, and I guess we'll have to know exactly where the talents fall to know like for certain how things are working. But one thing I really like is thermal void. The whole like if you use a brain freeze, it's gonna make your next ice lance shatter extra. Like that pairing with Fingers of Frost feels really really strong. Like getting the big shatter pops, and especially in AoE, like feels absolutely crazy. I was told though by Kunai that apparently it's bugged though, and you only get that bonus on like the first target it hits currently. So I guess it's not even doing like the full damage that it could be, but it feels like super strong.
Yeah, it feels, and then also Comet Storm is really like if you have 20 stacks of freezing hit Comet Storm, it consumes all the stacks
Yeah,
of freezing. Like
yeah,
Comet Storm also just consumes everything. That also feels nice. Like
yeah.
building up to 20 and on like all the mobs and then just hitting that.
Yeah, it feels really, really good to just like get everything with the freezing and then hit it with a Comet Storm. How do you feel about Ray of Frost though?
I like it. I like Ray Frost a lot.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people complain about it. I feel like it's kind of funny because Fire and Frost both have this same kind of thing going on. I feel like you always have to have a shimmer reserved for Pyroclasm during certain moments of the fight, or especially as Frost, like for Ray of Frost. Like you have to have one ready for the Ray of Frost. And it does somewhat limit like our mobility, especially since we're coming out of expansion where like everyone like hears about, oh, there's a mobility thing. Okay, the entire raid is looking at you, right? Unless they're looking at the BM Hunter already, it's like, oh, the mage is doing that job, right? I feel like there's like a big, I guess, balance that we're gonna have to like push back on because like we're still mobile, but it's like we're not nearly as mobile. I still think
you look at the mage, but like it's a little down on the prize. Like the BM Hunter is probably gonna take it. You're not on the same tier as a BM Hunter. Like I know, what's the roly poly boss in Liberation of Undermine? With the coins.
Oh yeah. One Arm Bandit. Or
One Arm Bandit, like that fight, yeah, as Fire, like for testing at least, I was doing coins and not a BM Hunter. I think we saw Liquid have the BM Hunter do it, and then we saw that when I was in Echo, but like it felt perfectly fine doing it as Mage.
I also did it
like,
in our testing.
Doing stuff like that, yeah, doing stuff like that is not going to be good anymore. Like you're not going to have the Mage do it, but you still have the Mage. Like you're probably like top 5, 6 ish.
Yeah,
the rate of like mobility. You just have to plan it out instead of just having mobility,
Yeah, it's definitely more skillful. I think that that's maybe where the skill expression is hidden now for Mage, because they definitely like gutted the skill expression when it came to like actually performing your rotation. But that's true of like pretty much every spec, right?
Yeah.
I think Mage is just maybe a little bit more than most, the average at least. But yeah, like having like properly pooling certain resources, especially shimmer charges for like things that you need them for. And I like Ray of Frost too. I actually like this a lot. Like it is very, very high risk whenever you press that button. Like you need to plan out how you're going to do it. But also, having the Comet Storm right afterwards, like you always have like at least some mobility on the other side, right? Like once you get done with your Ray of Frost, you're going to have a Glacial Spike. You're going to probably get your Frozen Orb back or your Flurry charges. And like there's a bunch of stuff that's coming back. You can always Ice Lance too if you don't want a Comet Storm right away, right? Like there's like a lot of options for once you get done with it. You just got to like get the Ray out. I think the damage on it maybe is like low.
Yeah,
but
it definitely feels underwhelming.
Yeah, the Ray itself feels bad. Still. Yeah, the Hand of Frost feels good from it. The getting all the shatter or the freezing stacks from it feels really, really good. But yeah, the Ray itself I feel like just does nothing. And that choice node underneath it, the Splintering Ray versus Frigid Focus, like I was running Splintering Ray whenever it was giving freezing stacks, but now it like doesn't do that anymore. No. So I feel like that choice node just like feels kind of useless.
I'm also a big fan of the CDR on Ray of Frost and Orb.
Yeah,
they added those 2 talent points. Those feel really nice, especially if they want Frost to be like the consistent damage spec. Like you just have CDs for basically everything because you're like on a 50-second timer, 45-second timer now.
And it's very fluid too. Like there's a lot of situations where it's like, oh, we have to kill this one mob like really, really fast. It's like, okay, bet I have a Ray for it. I'm just gonna hit it on, you know.
Yeah, also since Ray is 2 charges, you just have so much like flexibility with it. And like you don't even need the Comet Storm right away. So like sometimes I would Ray and then I would hold off just Comet Storming and then adds would spawn. You can kind of like triple Comet Storm adds.
Yeah.
If you
yeah,
like,
setting up
hold those charges.
Setting up like the Comet Storm thing, yeah, very strong. And dude, getting the Glacial Spike from it too. I feel like Frost right now, I'm in the same boat. I did not like Frost for basically the whole last expansion. Kind of avoided it, aside from like little moments where maybe one version was fun. But like back in the day, way back, Nighthold, like it was very fun back then.
15
very
years
different.
ago.
Yeah, a million years ago. I'm old as fuck. Yeah. But now I'm playing it and it's so different and I'm actually enjoying it a lot. And I'm like, wow, this actually feels pretty good, like much better in my opinion than live.
I wouldn't be upset if this was the prog spec. I think
I wouldn't either.
All specs, Arcane is probably my least favorite right now. It just feels really awkward. I don't know how much you've done it, but like out of all the specs, Frost is just under fire, I think, for me.
I feel like whenever I play Frost, I am always thinking of how I can do things differently and better. And it's like, it's a massive gap between where I'm at now and like my idealized version of the fight, like my how I would like use every ray and plan out everything. So I'd have like, it's like there's a lot to think about. And I love that aspect of it. And also, dude, defensive wise, like for Progman, having
so
Glacial
good.
Bulwark, like 2 barriers, 2 ice blocks, that's so insane for
You're
Prog.
like back to normal mage with 2 ice blocks, 2
Yeah.
barriers. You can almost never die.
Yeah, it feels good. Like I would actually be really happy with Frost being the prog spec 100%. Fire also, I wouldn't mind too much. I feel like it's probably going to be a mix of the two because it feels like they have very distinctly different things that they're good at.
They also just made Frost double its damage on 2 target with like your Frostbolt Flurry and your Ice Lance also hit another target.
Dude, and can we
So
talk
it sounds
about...
like they really
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
like they just made Frost the 2 target spec now.
Yeah, and can we talk about how sick Flurry looks as Frostfire? Like that, it's like eye candy. Every time I throw out the flurries and I see them things flying out, it actually looks so good.
Well, I'm not looking at the visual too much, but I guess it looks good.
I mean, you gotta like whenever you watch your VODs back, right? It does add like a nice little effect.
Okay.
The Frostfire,
I'll keep an eye out on it.
dude. I wish Fire had like something like that for Frostfire. I feel like it's so bland, but yeah, Frost. 10 to 10. I've been really enjoying it. I will say, whenever I play Splinter Storm, it's a little weird. Like the priorities are shifted a lot, like where your damage actually comes from, like how you can be like saving things for like the big damage. With that one, I feel like it's more upkeepy. Like you're just trying to get out as many frozen orbs as possible, and it's like everything is just about like how do I get the orbs out more and more and more. Yeah. With Frostfire, I feel like more freedom in choosing when I orb. More. Yeah, it's like more methodical. But I think they're like getting it to a pretty good place. The tuning on it obviously seems a bit high end when it comes to the AoE. Like the AoE feels a little ridiculous. It's hard to get it exactly right though. I don't know if you've had this feeling too, but like I'll go into a Mythic Plus pull and I have it like planned out exactly what I'm going to do to like do some crazy damage, right? Like I already have like a Calm Storm loaded up. I've Ray of Frost ready to go. Afterwards, I like am even using like a Mastery Trinket to boost it even further. And I do all my little things in my script, and then the damage just like doesn't show up. And then randomly other times where I'm just like in the moment, just feeling out what to do, just like pure instinct, like the damage just goes crazy. And it's weird because it's always like shatter damage, right? Like you're always just looking at shatter.
Yeah, a lot of it.
But the question is like, where's that coming from? Right?
Yeah, like right now, as soon as like the changes are coming, like I couldn't tell you what gives shatter right now, basically. So I think a lot is coming from that because like you don't know when like 10 mobs in the pack, like you could have 10 stacks of shatter on the whole pack and then you come a storm, or you have like 100 stacks of freezing on them or shatter on the pack that your common store blows up all. And then also a tiny bit of it could be like if you're comparing to other specs.
Yeah.
Since like we're not like a real CD spec, like one pull you're gonna do like 60% of another DPS because they hit their 3 minutes or their 2 minutes. And then other pulls you're gonna do like 30% more than them because you have CDs all the time and they don't have CDs for that pull or something like that. That could also be another thing.
Yeah, true. I think like the understanding of like exactly how the tank is going to pull the Dungeon Mythic Plus also like adds a whole another layer to Frost because like, yeah, assigning or like knowing where other people are going to commit their cooldowns, knowing which pulls are going to be crazy, like, and then Glacial Spike just like it does so much damage on its own, but the shatter you get from it too for afterwards, like if you can AoE shatter everything, it just feels really really strong. Yeah, I honestly like I think they still are cooking Frost because some of the talents are kind of weird interactions, but I feel like it's pretty solid right now. Like, and I'm enjoying it too.
I mean, comparing it to what it was for me, at least, it's so much better.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, yeah, the bar is set so low on live when it comes to Frost. Like, it really does feel like just like a whole new spec. Yeah, it literally feels like Mage is getting like a fourth spec to me because Frost is just so much different and so much more fun. I'm trying not to play it too much right now. I'll be honest, because I played it so much in the last like before this most recent patch, right? Like I was only playing Frost.
Oh yeah, same. Fire and Arcane was like unplayable for raid kind of, so for testing it was like all just Frost.
Yeah, Arcane though. Arcane, yeah, I don't even know.
Have you played Arcane?
I've played it, dude. I don't even know where to start. Like, it's like there's so many issues with how I feel the design is working. I don't know if they're real or not. I don't know like what's actually best, right? But just like based on the vibe, it just feels like just a salad bar where everything is like sawdust or dirt. Like nothing feels good when it comes to the options you have.
Yeah.
My biggest gripe with it is Arcane Pulse. I cannot stand Arcane Pulse. I don't understand why they gave us this ability or like what feedback they were looking at. I feel like everything that people talked about for Arcane feedback was like the opposite of what they actually did. So I guess let's just get real negative about Arcane. What's your least favorite thing about Arcane right now?
I mean, I actually thought it was a lot because it was like why I don't like this. I can like articulate like what exactly I don't like about it.
It's hard.
I think, no, I think I came up with something. It's like there's so many conflicting things on the tree going on with just how you play. Like, say example, you take charged missiles. Now your charged missiles, your missiles consume all your charges, but it's competing with barrage. So like missiles needs to hit really hard if you want to feel good pressing it. If your other choice is barrage, because I think right now, I think barrage hits way harder than charged missiles, and they just nerf charged missiles for whatever reason.
Yeah, it wasn't doing any damage. Yeah,
it just feels bad. And then also like in the right side of the tree, the same issue with orb. Like orb feels good in AoE, but it's also just, or wait, I mean, sorry, not orb and barrage. Orb and missiles are your two spenders for clear casting, but like it just feels you have to choose between the two. And it doesn't feel that good to hit either in each situation. And aside from like all the talent tree stuff, they made Mage more or Arcane more like you're worrying about your mana more. You're actually building a lot more and you're spending way more without like recharges. The issue is it doesn't feel good to spend mana and it doesn't feel good to spend your Arcane charges. So you're spending your Arcane charges just to spend them, and then you're just building up and just feels bad all around. You know, because you don't get the reward of spending charges. You don't get the reward of spending mana. You just do it, kind of. It doesn't even do like that much more damage.
Yeah, I think you can extend that further as well with like, so like on paper, I love the idea of having to touch the Magi charges because it means that I could like choose when to use it. And if I'm holding it for 10 extra seconds, then it's like not costing me an extra one, right? Because I don't have to use it exactly on cooldown. But the problem is Touch of the Magi is so short and Arcane Surge is so long where you just would always use them both in Arcane Surge.
Sun Fury, you're always using double.
Yeah.
Just always.
always double. Exactly. I mean, even as Spell
There can be some cases for Slinger. Like, there could be some very minor cases for Spell Slinger where, like, there is, like, a bunch of ad spawning in 30 seconds. Like, the 3 seconds of surge value is going to not be worth a lot compared to, like, the ad spawning where I could see it being worth. But most of the time, you're just going to double use it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Apex talents, like, aside from giving you, like, a second charge, it doesn't really feel like they're doing
really
much. And it just, like, oh, you have, like, extra dot damage from it that doesn't interact with anything. Okay, whatever, right? It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's very strange. I also struggle to really articulate what I have a problem with just because there's so many different ways that you could go about critiquing it. But I think the big thing I would say is like, yeah, it doesn't feel like there's a cohesive design for anything. Like everything is kind of like siloed into little bits, and it's like these ideas don't really work with each other. A lot of them are like opposites, and the big picture is you just don't feel like you're getting any reward for what you're doing, right?
I feel like if they made each case like, oh, like in orb mastery, like they make a use case for it where it feels good to hit it, and then missiles they make a use case where it feels good to hit that, and then like if they just made your spenders do way more damage, and when you're full mana, you're spending mana, it does a lot of damage. I think it's gonna feel so much better than like right now, where it just doesn't feel like you're doing anything really when you're those 2 moments you're supposed to be feeling a lot.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
if they changed that, Arcane will feel way better,
Yeah. If they
or just something like that.
if they tuned it and shifted the damage around so barrage felt really good, like so barrage, spending your charges feels like this big thing, right? It definitely would help. But I also struggle with it because there's no refunds on your spenders, right? So like every time you spend your charges, like the cost of building back, it's not as bad because you have impetus at least. So like you're always getting 2 arcane charges, right? But it feels really bad to build back from 0 charges. Like feels like abysmally bad.
Yeah, it just snowballs from because last season you had a bunch of recharges, and then you had so many recharges. You were always at max mana or at max mana and then max arcane charges, and you only barrage if you were either which almost never happened, or you had a recharge.
Right.
And now they major mana like very important factor where you go instantly, and then you also just have to spend your barrage just more constantly without recharges, without buffing the damage of barrage when you spend it, or like the damage when you're spending mana. So it's just gonna feel bad because now you're like going to have to build again. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they didn't really like give you good options for getting charges back. It feels like to me with the current design, like unless they had a refund to it, with the amount you have to barrage to keep your mana levels from going to 0, like you're just gonna feel like you need like high voltage. I feel like because without high voltage, it just feels so bad to build back up. Maybe it's some Fury you could use Orb, right? But with Spellslinger, I feel like you want to do something
really
else.
good.
I like, the version I've been playing after they like nerfed the Orb memes, that was pretty fun for a little bit. Obviously very broken, but I've just been playing the high voltage thing. I also tried out charged missiles. I was like, what is this
horrible.
talent, man? I was looking at the damage it dealt, and I was like, is this a joke? Like, are you trolling?
I did the 2 on a sim the other day, and without charged missiles, my average missiles was 48k, and with it was 53k.
Yeah, it's like, so bad.
And they nerfed this. They need that number needs to stay by 200% for it to be good. Like,
and it's the what's crazy is it's the individual missile that's buffing, right? It's not the whole
channel. You also clip it. Like, if you clip it, it's like you're out of charges, so it doesn't buff the rest. So you might as well clip it.
So silly. Yeah, I don't know, man. That I feel like that is the ultimate noob trap, that talent right there. Like if you take this talent, you are actually gonna just do like 20% less damage or something crazy. On the note of other weird talents like Evocation versus Mana Adept, I feel like I cannot find a case for Evocation. I could not make this talent work for anything. Every time I took it, it felt fine, but then I look at my damage and I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't think this is ever really a viable talent.
It's going to be the case if it's ever like you're just spamming blast and you just need mana, or you're not barraging or you're building. Like if you take high voltage or like bottom right of the tree, there's something to do outside of spamming blast, but there's a world where you don't take Orb Mastery and you don't take high voltage or something, and you're just spamming blast. It's going to feel really good.
Like Cataclysm, Arcane, just like Arcane Blast, Arcane
yeah,
Blast,
I know
Arcane Blast,
Cataclysm, Arcane for
yeah,
sure.
okay. I keep forgetting.
In a world where you're only spamming Blast, it's going to feel really good to have Evo, but right now there's no reason to only spam Blast.
I keep showing my age on accident with these comments. Yeah.
I mean, that was like 20 years ago.
Hey, man, there's classic recently. Could have been that. Yeah, these talents, man, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of like tricky ones. I feel like if maybe they get the tuning right on like Orb Mastery, they like have it. That feels to me, it feels right for Spellslinger to have Orb Mastery be the way that you do clear casting, at least if you have Orb available, right? But whenever I log in as Arcane and I hit the dummies or I go do like, some content, I'm just like counting the minutes until I can play Frost or Fire again. It actually feels like really, really bad.
My issue is there's also no niche with Arcane right now. Like, Resonance is what, like maybe 0.5%? What is it actually? 5%? Like, there's just no funnel. There's no execute anymore. There's like, it just does damage. It's a 130 class that does damage.
Yeah, it's really interesting because like if you think about why Arcane was good for like the last 2 expansions, it's like the execute damage. It's the variable cooldowns that had good timings with like the fights during progression at least. It was the funnel, right? Like it was very adaptable and had like a really good damage profile for all these things. There was like a lot of situations where you could like either get funnel or funnel was just baked in as incidental extra damage. And it like was really good at all these things. And I feel like they've just like completely, that niche that Arcane had carved out before, it's just gone. Like I don't know what Arcane is good at.
It doesn't
really
do
anymore.
anything.
It doesn't do more burst and fire, right? It's worse. Yeah. And it doesn't have any funnel. It doesn't have any execute. Fire has execute. Doesn't have any of that.
Fire has like 30% execute or something now. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. And I think like part of that's probably good because Arcane was probably too good at many of these things, right?
Well,
but
okay. I have a little conspiracy, the tinfoil hat. I think they design fights with 120 timers in mind because it lines up with 2 minutes pretty well. It lines up with 3 minutes, like sort of well. So like you can do 120, 240, and then 4 minutes where it like lines up with some spells. That's what it feels like at least because it's not a coincidence that like the last 30 fights or something, Arcane is perfect timers for. It's not like the timers are okay or like there's one fight, like one odd fights where it's going to be bad, but like 90% of the time it's just going to be exactly perfect for what Arcane was at 120.
yeah.
It's like that's why it was so good because like just every single fight 120 timers perfect. Like Nexus King 120 timers perfect. The best damage profile in the fight.
Yeah. Dimensius is also pretty good on the platforms, even with the shorter platform times. Like doing the weird,
it's insane.
Like the delayed touch of the Magi stuff. I don't know if you were also doing that.
Yeah, that's what I told Fired Up to start doing that because I was watching a lot because I wasn't in, but it felt good to have a niche like that. Like you did so much more damage in execute. You could like literally solo those platform ads.
Yeah.
Because you just did 100% more damage. And so like delaying it was like an option to do. But like right now you just have nothing. Like Resonance is neutered. It basically does almost nothing now. You're not even spending barrage that much anymore. So like it should go up if anything. It shouldn't go down. And then you just have no execute damage anymore. So you kind of have nothing.
Yeah, I think
unless like they want Arcane to be 4 target, 5 target only. Like your 5 target damage is going to be insane. It's like the only niche I could see.
Yeah, I feel like when they decided to remove all the interactions with Barrage to like make it simplified, they like didn't realize just how big of a hit Barrage was going to take from that. And some of it is kind of counteracted with the Apex talents, right? Because they're increasing the performance of like your Arcane charges. Even though that's really boring, right? Because we're already playing around Arcane charges heavily. At least it was making Barrage hit a lot harder because you're always pretty much in that 4 charges, right? So yeah, I feel like they gotta like mix that back up. It's funny, like doing a barrage in like a 5 target scenario, like perfect conditions, you have every cooldown up, like you use your trinket and everything like as Arcane right now on the beta, and your barrage just like hits and it kind of makes like a squeaky toy sound, right? It doesn't do much at all.
I think they're gonna be aware of it because if you read the last patch notes for Arcane, every spell got buffed by 20%, but barrage got buffed by 40%. So I think they realize Barrage needs to hit way harder than it does right now, and I think it still needs to hit even harder, you know?
Yeah, they still need to give it some juice. Maybe they do like a buff overall, but yeah, I agree. They need to give that thing more juice. I mean, you can play like Devourer, right? And you can already see like on Crowl, or Kraut, whatever his name is, in the damage amp with like a big collapsing star, you can see a number that's almost 1 million in single target. Very, very close. Like I think the highest one I had was like 967k. Very, very good. And then you go Arcane on that. There's like no way you're ever getting anywhere close to that on a barrage. And I think if they just make the barrages hit really, really stupid hard, then it can actually have a niche again. Because that's what Arcane needs to make it feel like it's worth to play, is like you need to have like this big, big juicy payoff whenever you spin those charges.
It feels, the only part about Arcane where it feels good is Sun Fury when you're in your Arcane Soul window. Because you don't use salvo stacks. So for 4 seconds, you're spamming max barrages with max salvo stacks. And that's like the only part that feels good.
Yeah.
But that's like what the whole
really
Arcane should feel like. Like when I spend a barrage, it should feel like that. Not necessarily like that because it's always 25 salvo stacks, but like it should feel big that I hit barrage.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they got a bit of cooking to do. Back to the topic of Arcane Pulse. This talent feels like you're just casting it forever. You don't really see much like happen from it. Completely eviscerates your mana, and it also replaces Arcane Explosion. Arcane Explosion to me is just like a move I always want to have. Like I never want to be in a situation where I can't press it, right? There's like so many situations where it's like I need to move and I need an Arcane Charge. I can just press Explosion. It'd be better if it didn't interact with clear casting, right? If I could just use it freely. But like having the ability to do that feels like so core to me, like the Arcane experience. Mm-hmm. And like having that button, this actually feels like a downgrade. Like taking this talent actually feels like it makes Arcane just worse. And
yeah, I see what they're trying to do. They want like you hit blast and single, you hit pulse and AoE as your builder, but like it just feels bad to hit it in AoE.
It looks really cool though. I wish they would add like the spell effect for Arcane Pulse to like Blast, because Blast just like has like a little icon that pops on them. You don't really even see it. It doesn't really feel like you're doing much. You see the damage, but with Pulse it just like looks amazing. Although I try to avoid that talent at all costs.
Think about it, I think most of the problems with Arcane is things that feel like they should do damage don't.
Yeah.
Is a big issue. Like, what if Pulse just did 1,000,000 damage? You know, like you'd feel good hitting it instead of having you'd like the trade-off of not having Explosion if Pulse did a bunch of damage, because it feels good hitting that and feels good building. But like right now, you're just hitting it to hit it, you know, because it's AoE instead of single, so you're not hitting blast.
Yeah, I think having the option,
that's the biggest issue with Arcane.
The option for like a ranged explosion is good, but yeah, going from like instant cast to 1.7, I would love if Arcane Explosion, let's say that there's a different Arcane Pulse talent, right, and it's just a ranged Arcane Explosion, but instant cast, that'd be fantastic. I would love that, right? Take all the interactions that work with this, that say Arcane Pulse does X, Arcane Pulse does Y. Take all those interactions, put them into Explosion instead. Have instead of like the baseline talent being Explosion and then you get Pulse as the talent, make the talent Arcane Explosion and have Pulse be the default. That to me feels like a direct upgrade, right? Something like that. So yeah, it would feel really good if they would maybe rework this, but I'm sure that there's like so many other things that are wrong here too that we aren't even discussing. Just like so many little things that I'm sure will be evident once they have like sims and all that stuff.
No.
Cool. All right. Yeah. So I think we pretty much agree on how the vibes of the specs are. I mean, Fire feels like way improved. Loving Fire right now. Frost feels fantastic. Wouldn't mind playing Frost in Prague, which is not something I thought I would say going into this expansion.
Ever,
yeah. And then the even crazier one for me is like Arcane. I do not want to play at all. Like, get that thing away from me. And like Arcane has been so fun to play in Prague. It really does feel like, at least, there's like the recency bias, but it feels like the Prague spec always, right? It feels like what you go to for that. I don't see a world where I would touch this thing unless it gets some serious love. So,
nah, it just needs a direction. It just feels lost.
Yeah, it's a tough one too, man. I mean, the devs really have their work cut out for them on Arcane. Arcane has been such a weird spec because like before, back in the day, right? Like Arcane was just like the one button spec. And then it kind of went through all these different redesigns that made it different in some way or another. And then for a whole expansion, it was just like completely unplayable, just absolute dog. And then they like somehow stumbled onto like a really great design for it. And now we're kind of back to
I think my
like
favorite
limbo.
Was Nurubar design, where like you could double dip too. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like that design for Arcane. I also really enjoyed it in Shadowlands. Shadowlands Arcane, Kyrian Arcane was like super duper fun.
I never played that.
Oh, dude, it was probably like, talk about big damage on those barrages, man. Like you could set up the craziest barrage hits and it was like super duper powerful. But it did lock you into Kyrian, and then so you're super duper screwed on the other
Sanctum
specs,
was
right?
the first tier I played Mage, and you played Arcane for Anduin. And I was in like a top 200 all the time, where I saw Fired Up play Arcane. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to play Fire. And I just played Fire the whole tier. It was great.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the other specs are pretty fun too there. But yeah, dude, it's going to be hard for them to like make an Arcane design that makes me feel excited about it, just because of where we're at now, right? It feels like we're like up on the peak and we're looking down, even though we may not be like exactly on the peak because we've already kind of slid a little bit, right, with all the changes to Arcane over the past like, I don't know, 5-6 months. But yeah, it just really feels like a hard bar to
it also
top.
Just feels like they're just putting their time into like one spec at a time. Like I feel like at the start they like did like initial pruning of just everything, and everything was at the base level. And then before beta came out, they focused so much on Frost because it's like technically just a rework of a spec, completely rework. And then after Frost was really good and well received, they went to the next worst spec that people didn't like, was Fire, and they fixed Fire a lot. And now it feels like they're going to do Arcane next. It feels like I'm waiting for something to happen for Arcane, and that's like the spot it's in right now.
Yeah, we're just in the waiting game. Well, hopefully next time we get patch notes. I mean, they're cutting it kind of close to, man. I always get nervous whenever Arcane feels this way in like a beta cycle, because I always know it's kind of a squeaky wheel situation. Like it needs a lot of grease to get this thing kind of up to speed.
It's still like 3 months, right? 4 months, 3 months, something like that.
Yeah, but Christmas
until the tier, so
I don't know. I'm getting nervous because Christmas is coming.
It's a lot of time.
Yeah.
I'd be way more I'd be as nervous as you sound if like the tier is in a month, you know? And like we're already trying to plan like raid comps and stuff.
Well, don't worry. By patch 1 or 12.1, it'll for sure be good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate the chat.
Yeah,
cool.
it's good talking to you.
Yeah. Any last comments? You want to also maybe plug your stuff too?
Yeah, I stream, use some YouTube videos, Hopeful X, play in Liquid as a mage. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome, man.
Really happy with like the changes they're doing recently to mage.
I think they're cooking. Yeah, they're definitely on the right path there. All right, awesome, man. Well, hey, we'll chat again soon. Have a good one.
Yeah, it's good talking to you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for today. So hopefully you enjoyed that mage chat, and I'm going to cut that up and put it on YouTube. That way we can have that for all the YouTube viewers who weren't here for the conversation. I'm sure a lot of folks were probably wanting to hear something like this. A lot of people have been asking me to kind of summarize feelings on the specs, and we kind of just like talk shop on all these. Probably a good format for that. Yeah, I am excited to see if they can bring the same energy that they brought to Fire and Frost. If they can bring that energy to Arcane and show that like they can make this salvageable, they can like make these towns work, I will be very excited. But yeah, it's kind of a strange reversal, like going from a couple weeks ago to now. I was feeling very doomer on Mage, just like in general. I was already like logging into Devourer, just like trying to learn everything I could about Devourer. And now I'm kind of like back on the Mage train. I'm feeling like this is pretty good. Anyways, yeah, we're going to end it here. I got nothing else. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.